Alright, so Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was released about like a month ago, and there's been a lot of confusion and speculation surrounding the game and its lore. And one of the biggest confusing things I've seen within the game is the character named the Blob, or whatever it's called. It's basically this giant animatronic amalgamation thing. It looks like Molten Freddy, but way bigger, like 10 times the size. And it resides underneath the pizzeria simulator location. I've seen a lot of theories about this and speculations going on around like how it's a different type of Molten Freddy, how it is Molten Freddy but more souls are in it, stuff like that. But I have a different theory. Basically, here's my theory. Let's get into this because that's what this video is about. What if let's go on a little thing here. What if Blob in Security Breach is actually an amalgamation of animatronics from FNaF AR, from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, from Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery, which is the game before Security Breach. A common misconception I see about FNaF AR is that it's non-canon, or the emails are only canon or whatever, which honestly doesn't make sense because the emails like directly coincide within the game's events, so like I don't understand that. But basically there's a lot of misconception about the game isn't canon, which I don't know where that came from. I think it's just because people don't like the game, but still it is canon. The game has a lot to do with the background of Vanessa or Vanny, and I'm gonna get into that. Like, that's one big thing for FNaF AR. It's kind of like a lead up into Security Breach. Like, it explains, it kind of shows Glitchtrap's manipulation on Vanny. So that's already a pretty good place to start with. AR is a lead up into Security Breach, and Security Breach even has a little reference to AR, saying how Vanessa talks to Lewis a lot, and Lewis is a character within Five Nights at Freddy's AR. Another thing I want to point out is how the animatronics in the Blob amalgamation thing, they're all different characters from different games. There's Mangle, there's Bonnie, there's Chica, there's an Endo, there's Circus Baby, there's a Puppet Mask, and there's Funtime Freddy at kind of like the head of it, like literally the head of it, and which is why a lot of people think it is Molten Freddy, because it's a big wire thing. It's a big wire animatronic amalgamation with Funtime Freddy at the head of it. But here's what I think. I think it's actually a big amalgamation of the AR animatronics. And I think that becomes more obvious when you think, oh hey, all these animatronics that has existed in different time periods throughout the games, they're all in there, when they haven't all existed at one point in time, except for AR. Another thing I want to point out is Funtime Freddy very conveniently was added into AR like 1 week, only a week after Security Breach released. Whether it's on purpose or not, I have no idea. It might not, maybe it's just a coincidence. Another thing I should point out is the heads on the Blob. They aren't the scrap variants of the animatronics. For instance, Funtime Freddy isn't the same head. It's not the Molten Freddy head, it's the normal Funtime Freddy head, and the baby head that's on there, it's normal baby, it's not scrap baby. So I think that's an interesting detail, that these are the original versions of like the animatronics. They aren't the pizzeria simulator variants, when very clearly they are underneath the pizzeria simulator location. And another thing I wanted to point out, something I found on Reddit, someone pointed out that in Blob, there's literally like 3 left arms from Bonnie. There's 3 left arms from specifically Bonnie, it looks like, which, like, he should only have 1. So I feel like that's a pretty good, like, oh hey, multiple Bonnies. Maybe it's a bunch of Bonnies from the warehouse where the AR animatronics were manufactured. That's interesting. And another thing, this should definitely be pointed out. The puppet mask. Puppet isn't in AR. What does that mean? Well, as you may know, alongside Funtime Freddy being teased like years ago, so was Lefty. And Lefty is commonly associated with the puppet because you can see the puppet inside of the Lefty casing in Pizzeria Simulator. So my guess is that whenever Lefty is added, that kind of segues Puppet being inside Lefty or something like that. Or maybe Puppet might just be added in the future eventually, and that kind of just completes everything. I mean, we already have every single FNAF 2 animatronic, besides the Withers, which I doubt they'll be added, but like, really only the Puppet is missing. So like, I feel like it's kind of inevitable that the Puppet will eventually be added. Now that we've talked about how Vanny has a big role in FNAF AR, and how Blob could potentially be a big amalgamation of AR animatronics, how does it happen? How do these animatronics go from wherever the facility is, inside the Pizzaplex, under it, and whatever? One thing I should point out, and I'm not sure if I already pointed this out already, I don't remember, but within the leaked emails of FNAF AR, there's an email from Lewis. They literally reference Pizzaplex like right in there. And since Vanny used the name Pizzaplex, which is most likely within the data of Fazbear Entertainment, maybe that could have been kind of telling the AR animatronics, like, hey, go to the Pizzaplex or whatever. I don't really know. This is confusing stuff. Like, I don't think anyone expected Blob to just be in existence, because, like, what is that? Anyway, that's the video. I'm gonna disappear for another 4 months. Have a great day, night, or heat death of the universe, depending on what time you're watching. And goodbye.